Hey, welcome back. It is Eric Arnold, the Big E, here in the Sports Barn, and it is Tuesday, the 31st of August, and we are going to be bringing you a bunch of free MLB picks here for this Tuesday. Well, we got a lot of stuff to cover, so let's just jump right into it here. Last night, winners. Two more winners. That probably brings our record upwards of 30, almost 30 units to the plus for the season. Hell, I'll stack that up against anybody. Pittsburgh Louie had a good night in the comments. He gets back on the winning track. So, we had the Phillies. Wheeler, bad again, as I feared. But oddly enough, the Phillies are actually scoring some runs right now. And have cut the deficit in the East to 3.5 games. Braves still in Los Angeles, so this could be the big opportunity the Phillies are looking for to get back in the race. Phillies again tonight playing a winnable game against the Nationals, and the Braves are, I think, plus 180 underdogs again out there in Los Angeles. So opportunity time for the Phillies. The Astros had a nice win there in Seattle. They had coughed up the lead in the mid-innings, but then they stood their ground there in the 8th and scored 2 to basically win the game. I just, more about that later, but I think the Mariners may be at the end of their rope. Just getting a little tired. A lot of young players on that team. It's a very long season if you're a young player and you've never done it before. What else is going on? The Dodgers have moved within a game and a half of the Giants, so everyone's expecting them to pass them. Here they come. They're moving up on the outside, so everybody's going to expect them to go right on by them. I think looks like the Rays have opened up a safe lead in the East. That's interesting. But anyway, that's what happened yesterday. Let's what else here? We got a little news, politics talk here. Oh, I feel obligated here to apologize to the University of Virginia. I openly bashed them because they were requiring all their students to get the vaccination. Well, of course, now my alma mater, Ohio State, thinks that's a great idea, so we're doing it too. So we're just as stupid and wrong as Virginia is. Kind of just confirms things I've thought about my alma mater for a long time now. It's just not the same place I went to school. It's just not. Every time I go there and I'm on campus, I literally and figuratively just do not recognize the place. It's like, holy shit, there's another huge, new, shiny, concrete marble building that wasn't there 20 years ago. There's another one. That used to be an empty lot. So that used to be a cafeteria. Now it's another big, shiny new building. It's like, what is, basically. And then I go up and down the commercial stretch there, High Street. That's where the bars used to be. Well, they're not there anymore. What I keep coming back to is, where do the poor kids drink? Where do the poor kids drink? The bars, if you will, are Eddie George's restaurant, where, one, where they probably have pretty strict ID requirements, and then two, a beer is probably $5. I'm like, this is not, a beer, singular beer. In my day, you can get a whole gallon of beer for $5. But what I concluded is, well, there simply are no poor kids. There are no poor kids at Ohio State anymore. There used to be a lot of poor kids at Ohio State. I was one of them. My roommate was one of them. His roommate was one of them. There were a lot of poor kids. And the nature of the campus and the buildings and the apartments surrounding it, reflected that. It's like it was affordable. You could go and have a meal off campus, have a couple beers off campus. You could live off campus and not break the bank. You could go to school there and not break the bank. I had out-of-state tuition, and it was still not that hateful. It was about triple what the kids from Ohio had to pay, but I managed. I paid for about a third of it with my money and scholarships and grants. Then the parents paid for about a third of it, and then I paid for the other third of it with loans. So we got by, but I don't know if I could afford it now. If I was in that same state that I was back then, trying to get into that place. So I don't know. It just so they're trying to be an elite school. They're acting like an elite school in that, well, you must get the vaccine because we're elite and only elite people must get the vaccine. We have to have the vaccine. It's like, you're wrong, you're stupid, you're immoral, you're wrong. But hey, so I bashed Virginia for doing the exact same thing. So I guess my alma mater's doing it too. We're wrong too. Oh, and plus I have to, love Virginia because we're allies now, right? The Big Ten and the ACC and the Pac-12. What are we calling it? What's it called? The Alliance? Have we named this thing yet, or we're just allies? And I don't even know exactly what that means yet. We're doing it. We are uniting to take on the SEC and ESPN. SEC, once they absorbed Oklahoma and Texas, they're now, I don't know, what should we call them something? Axis of evil? Is that taken? Because when you ally against, usually that's what happens when an alliance forms. You're allying against something to protect you from something. So I guess the three of us are allying against the SEC and ESPN. So I don't know what that means. Does that mean we can't show our games on ESPN anymore? And what if we play a Big 12 team? Are they like Switzerland? What do we do with them? So I don't know exactly how this is going to play out, but I guess I got to be nice to Virginia now since they're my ally. At any rate, what else is going on? I saw this. Like I said, I'm disturbed by what's going on in Afghanistan. I forgot to mention this the other day. It's like we left so much stuff behind there. I don't know. Again, I never grew up having my own printing press like the federal government does. Whatever we had, that's all we had. We weren't getting more of it or any kind new. If you broke whatever you had, if you had a toy, if you had a tool, a bike, and you broke it, don't expect to get a new one. That ain't happening. So you better take care of what you have. So if you take it with you somewhere, you go on vacation with you, it better come back home with you. Well, apparently that's not the way the federal government rolls. We just leave stuff littered all over the world. Bring home the tanks and helicopters? Crazy talk. We'll just build more or buy more. I don't even know if we build anything. They're probably from China, and we just buy them from them. But we left all that stuff over there. Apparently now we're just leaving dogs over there. These poor dogs that rely on us to feed them and take care of them, and in exchange, they do dangerous jobs like going out and smelling out bombs and stuff. Kind of like, I guess, the Afghanistan people are over there helping us too. They're in the same boat. Fuck you. We don't need you. Our use for you is over, so you're on your own. So I guess we just turned the dogs loose, and there'll be meals soon. They'll be eaten by the Taliban. Just bad, just immoral stuff, bad stuff. It makes you question who's in charge of the country. Who thought that was a good idea? I don't know. I saw a small piece of good news. I saw that Australia, the prime minister of Nazi Australia, has just given that much leeway that they're changing their policy. They haven't actually changed it yet, from what I can tell. They're just talking about changing it. It's sounded to me like a double swerve. It's like, all right, we recognize that this is what words did they use? Their policy down there, they call it COVID zero. In other words, we're going to live our entire lives, our entire governmental procedures, jurisprudence, policies, what have you, all revolve around this fucking virus. It all revolves around that. And we will shut the whole country down, literally shut the entire country down if you have one COVID case, and that's what they've been doing. So you have just one or two cases, and everyone is forced to stay in their homes, can't go to work, got to shut your shops, shut down your businesses, lose your jobs, or at least pause your jobs. Everything in your life is on hold because Bill, 700 miles away, has COVID. And it's insane. For one thing, I thought these guys were a democracy of some type, where there's no way in the world they took this idiotic policy to the people. There's no way that you would get a majority of people to agree to this. I don't even think the Karens would agree to this draconian, foolish idiocy. At least some of them would not. Now, some would. I mean, there's some Karens that put all the other Karens to shame. But so they don't have the will of the people on this. And now they're saying, well, this is not a sustainable way to live. Quote, not a sustainable way to live. Gee, you think, Sherlock? But they haven't really changed it yet. They're now saying, well, once we get 80% of the people vaccinated, then we'll lift this stuff. It's like, shit, you're never going to get 80% of your people vaccinated. I can tell just by watching the protests. They're not going to get vaccinated, and the harder you hammer on these people, the more you lock them down, the more they want to tell you to go fuck yourself. So there's no way they're going to get 80% vaccinated. I think it's a good thing that they even came out with this at all. That just tells me that they're afraid they're losing control of the people, that the people are starting to really get together and blow the lid off that place, which is a good thing. So that's good that the Australian government's control is starting to slip from their fingers, and that freedom might break out down there. Hopefully it does. But we'll see. It's a battle. These little wars are going on all over the place between these elite totalitarian governments and the people. So you got to pay attention to what, is it going to happen here? When is it going to happen here? What's going on here is no way as bad as what's going on in Australia. Probably France is worse than here. So, then if I want to go to certain colleges, I got to be vaccinated. There's still places I can go to college, though, where I don't have to be vaccinated. So, it's a huge, getting into college is a big deal, and there's all kind of paperwork, and you can't, unless you're a college athlete, just switch and go to another school. So if Ohio State told me, well, you got to be vaccinated, and for whatever reason, I was a hardcore, I don't want that vaccination person, Penn State, but I'd probably have to wait a couple quarters to get in. I don't have to be vaccinated at Penn State, of all places. The Pennsylvania colleges have made it optional. Go figure. Go figure. So, what else? I guess let's get to the picks, right? We actually have a bunch of them today, 5 of them. There we are. I got to do this one. I cannot help myself. We got to go here. we have got to take the Cardinals today. The Reds, Cardinals, this is a huge series for both teams. Both teams are within hailing distance of that second wild card's position. The Reds, I guess, tentatively actually have it at the moment. And the Padres are right on their heels. And then the Cardinals are, 2-3 games back of that. You got a team here that has won championships in this millennium. Cardinals won at least 2 of them, I think, maybe more, maybe 3. I forget. I have to check that in my head. 2, I think. The Reds, got to go back into the other millennium. You got the 1990, then you had the Big Red Machine, and you had stuff that a lot of you weren't even born when all that stuff happened. So basically, you got winning franchise, losing franchise. And I think it doesn't boil down to anything more elegant or complicated than that. You're getting paid a fortune right here to get the good team. Plus 146. Check out Sonny Gray's record against the Cardinals. It's not good. So I think this is just a great spot. You just cannot miss this one because it's just such good value here, where you're getting 2 pretty similar teams, and one has a track record of coming through in these kind of spots. One has a track record of not coming through, and we're getting paid to take the good team. So we'll take the Cardinals. Sorry, Flamingo Kid, I know that upset you. Subscriber X, he doesn't care. He's really just not listening. We like the Red Sox. Let's see. This one, no one knows what the price is because it's another COVID deal where Red Sox have a handful of guys on COVID, and are they getting them back? Are more guys going to get put on the list? Who's going to pitch? One list says Chris Sale, another says somebody else. We like the Red Sox here. I'm going to say almost at any price for any starter. I think the Rays have run out enough of a lead now that this is a good spot for them to just kind of coast, I think. And the Red Sox are desperate. They need to keep picking up some W's because they got to win to get this second wild card. So I think this is a good spot for the Red Sox here to possibly pick up a W, maybe at a decent price, depending who their starter is. So we'll say that, even though, like I said, I like to have a must start, a guy must start, but we don't have that. And we may not have that for hours. This is another game that I don't think has a hard number on it yet. I guessed at plus 100. I think the starters are pretty well set. That Plesac is going to pitch against Minor. Plesac has not been particularly great, but he's been getting better over the last few starts. For some reason, I don't think the Indians are completely dead, that they have not completely given up. If this team went on a hellacious win 20 out of 25 game stretch to close the season, they could make the playoffs. So I think the Indians are still possibly on the fringes of contention. That's more or less the thinking here. So we're going to take the Indians. Padres Diamondbacks. This is almost a field game in that the Padres don't play well in Arizona. They haven't played well in Arizona. But now they've won 2 in a row there. So finally, maybe they're breaking through whatever hex the Diamondbacks have on them. They desperately need this game. Snell's been pitching better. He got off to a shitty start. Just bad. But he's been pitching better. I think he's a slightly better pitcher than Gallen. You certainly have a deeper lineup with the Padres against the Diamondbacks. But then the hidden value is the Padres bullpen's good. and the Diamondbacks bullpen is bad. So Snell will be short, but that's okay because the Padres bullpen is good. So I think 158 is not a terrible price here. I think the Padres have at least a 2/3 chance of winning this game, which is like one minus 200. So that's where we think the value is there. We'll take the Padres. And then lastly, we're going to go again with the Astros. They own the Mariners. Just whatever, hex or I use that word again, or hold they have over the Mariners. They had it last night, and we're hoping that they continue to have it. Last night had to be deflating for the Mariners in that they were ahead into the late innings, into the 8th inning, a game they absolutely got to have, and they didn't get it. They did not get it, and I think that just maybe really, it's just, at some point, teams come out of nowhere and they're good, and they surprise the hell out of you, and then a lot of times they just fade away. and you almost forgot they had that great run there, 2/3 of the way the season, because the last third, they just go up the track. Just whoop, just start losing 5 out of 6 games. They just, when they blow, they blow. The engine blows and the car comes to a halt. And I think that could be happening to the Mariners, that they've got some really good teams ahead of them that they got to pass for that second wild card. They got to get past the A's. They got to get past the Red Sox. I don't think they're going to do it. I think they know they're not going to do it. And that's starting to wear on them in the back of their mind. They're like, shit, we just don't have enough. We don't have enough. And when you know you don't have enough, what you end up is guys that are incapable of hitting 5-run home runs. That's what they're trying to do. So I think the Mariners are pressing. I think they know they don't have enough. I think they're young. I think they're tired. And the Astros are they still haven't put it away yet. In other words, they're putting it away as we speak. But they're not where they can just completely take off days and rest. So I think the Astros are going to keep going hard, and we're just going to take them again. Not a hateful price. So there you have that. Like we like the Cardinals, Red Sox, Indians, Padres, and then our top play would be the Astros again, late night. Football, there's a whole card of football coming up Saturday. Again, I doubt I'm going to have many picks on those games. I don't have any hard and fast opinions yet on any of those games. Thursday night, I see Ohio State at Minnesota. That has not escaped my attention. I could really see a case for Minnesota. They've got a veteran team, a veteran quarterback, a veteran, at least center. I always look at the center. To me, that's the second most important position on the offense. Who's your center? So they got veterans in those spots. I'm somewhat throwing away what happened last year. I think this team it's largely the same team that beat Auburn in the bowl game in the end of the 2019 season. So this is a really good team. Now Ohio State's one of the 3 elite teams, your Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State. So 14 points, normally we would cover that against Minnesota. There's that much of a gap between the good college football teams and the elite college football teams. There's another category that James Franklin made up for Penn State, and I forget what it is. He said they're great. I think Penn State's great. I think that's the word he used. We're not elite. Yeah, you're not elite. I'm not even sure you're great, but whatever. So 14 points. Usually Ohio State would cover that, but Ohio State, new quarterback, new center. yeah, our offensive line, once we get these guys playing together, it'll be an NFL caliber offensive line. But, will it be together on week 1? I don't know. I don't have an opinion. I can't tell you one way or the other what's going to happen. My gut tells me Ohio State's just going to beat them just like they always do. But then, I can remember games where, like when we played at home against Virginia Tech in 2014, we got beat. And then by the end of the year, we were the best team in the country. But when we played Virginia Tech, we weren't very good. So I don't know what's going to happen. That's all I got for you. I'll try to get you another show here, maybe tomorrow. See what we can do. We'll do the best we can. Hey, thanks for being here. Hit the like button. It's there. Don't forget it's there. It is there. It takes you half a second to go click, and then the little thumbs up goes up, and 30 units to the good for the season. I should get a like just for that in general principles. But hey, if you like football, subscribe because that's coming up. All right, thanks, and we'll talk to you later.